What's going on, everybody? There's some special guests today for the podcast. Unfortunately, Saki is under the weather and she couldn't make it. So, keeping with the general theme of my life, I have cobbled together something with shoestring and duct tape. We have a couple of extra special guests here today. Go ahead and introduce yourselves. Oh, yeah, Creative's here as well.
Yes, I am.
Welcome back, Creative.
I
Sir. It's always fun to be up on the podcast.
There we go. And we have two more extra special guests today. Go ahead and introduce yourselves, guys.
I guess I'm gonna go first. My name is Kaballin. I'm the dollar store. Oh my god, dollar store Saki, and my Twitter is at Kaballin1. If you want to see some serious shit.
There we go. Dollar Store Saki on deck. That's going to definitely boost our signal with Saki's audience. And there is one more other person. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Jewlop. I'm the waifu of the community. I'm just a Kano player. You don't have to fuck with me. All right. Well,
I don't know if I would agree with waifu of the community. There's some disagreement among the people about that. Possibly the husbando, but I don't know. I saw your anime pictures and the titties were found lacking.
Oof.
The truest waifu of the TTT is obviously Hatcher.
Basically. So real quick, because you guys already know who me and Creative are. We've already done this. Give us a little bit of background on yourself in MK and within the fighting game community. Go ahead and go first, Kaballsack.
I am the newest member of the FGC in this channel. I started around like 4 or 5 months ago when I started watching Badger, and I'm not that good at fighting games.
You noticed that too, huh? And what about you, Jewlop?
well, this is my first fighting game too. I started right at the game release, and I joined this community about 2 months ago or so, and ever since then I've started getting a lot better. And I'm sure if you watch the stream, you've seen me play on Xbox days, and that's about as far as I go in the FGC.
Damn, so none of these cats have ever played any fighting games before this. Creative, do you
I've
feel
played.
old yet? What were you saying, Kaballsack?
I've played fighting games, I just never got good at them.
Yeah. Seems to be a running theme so far. So
To be honest,
go ahead.
I'm still not good at Mortal Kombat 11, so I shouldn't say I wasn't good at them.
It's all right. You get good eventually. It's always good to get more people into the community and into what we do. That's kind of one of the hallmarks of what I do on my channel. And so it's always good to see it expanding and new people getting interested and involved. Hopefully more people get interested and involved. And, let's just get right into the first topic we were going to discuss. And that was EVO Online.
Ooh, EVO Online, huh?
Yeah.
That's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah. So this was actually the topic that Saki wanted to discuss, because she has been organizing her own online tournaments, and they've been going well for her so far. I do not organize online tournaments, and I am not really a fan of online tournaments, and so it was going to be a balanced discussion with Creative in the middle, and now it may be a little unbalanced. I don't know. What are you guys' opinions on online tournaments in general?
Ooh, get ready for the DDoSes.
Right? I'm not afraid of controversial opinions, all right? I get shit on for my Sub-Zero shit for like days now. So controversy doesn't concern me.
Yeah, Pertaining to Evo though, I don't really feel like there's a lot. It's either like most people are just like, yeah, fuck it, I'll try it. Like it's either you got the fuck it, I'll try it people, or the people that are just like, fuck that, I'm not getting DDoSed.
Right? Like
I'm the second guy.
exactly, and that's the concern I have. Online tournaments, I just can't take them serious, and there's a lot of online warriors and online, I guess, focused players that constantly criticize me, saying that I'm, shortchanging their accomplishments, and I'm saying no, I'm not saying that I'm shortchanging your accomplishments in the online sphere. I'm saying that you could call yourself a tournament player, but until I see you without a cord, right? Until I see you in the real world, in my opinion, you're just another online warrior.
And that's fair enough too. I mean, well, it's just online still, so.
Yeah, exactly. What about you other two? I know you two, Jewlop and Kaballin, have been trying to get me to enter EVO online. Defend yourselves.
Kaballin says that SoCal Honey Badger should join EVO for a fun stream. Everything else is dismissed.
What about
But
you?
honestly, about EVO being online, I believe that people that shouldn't be registering are registering, and people that should aren't. And because of that, I don't believe EVO is going to be as fun as it was the last couple of years.
Okay, you're gonna have. That's a loaded statement. What do you mean, people that should be and shouldn't be?
I mean, Sonic Fox has been caught on record saying that he will never fight a Sub-Zero online. And I honestly don't doubt that. Sub-Zero online is more annoying than anything offline. And for the people that are joining that shouldn't, I think that they're joining just because EVO is online and they can, not because they should.
I think you have a misunderstanding of what EVO is all about. So I'm going to step in and give a little bit of background. The cornerstone of the fighting game community has always been open entrance. There's never, like, invite-only tournaments and leagues is not really what the fighting game community has been all about. It's always been about, you think you're good? Show up and prove it. So I think EVO being online actually opens it up for more people to be able to compete than ever before. But unfortunately, then you have people like me who are kind of hesitant to join. But I don't know if I can agree with the opinion that there are people that shouldn't join EVO. I think everyone that wants to should, and that's kind of always been the backbone of EVO.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I feel like anybody that's really participating in the community, like, obviously it's free to sign up too, so it's just like, if you want to, why not? But yeah, I kind of do agree with Kaballin though when he had said that the people that should be signing up aren't. But I don't really think that there's a category of people that shouldn't be signing up. But there's definitely a lot of like really good offline. And you know what? No, you have your fair share of online players that are also very good. But it's just like, it's not going to feel the same, if that makes any sense. Like, it's just going to feel like another Coliseum.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to truly feel like EVO. Like, EVO, when you're used to it, like, the past few times that I've seen EVO, it's always just like, it's fucking sick. Like, it's a nice big-ass crowd. Everybody's watching. It's hype. And now it's just like, oh yeah, we'll just have it online. Some commentary. We'll just have a Coliseum 2.0.
That's kind of the opinion that I'm getting of it right now, is that like nobody's really taking it seriously, and because no one's taking it seriously, you're not getting the serious competition. Now, again, to clarify, creative like myself does go to offline tournaments. So the other two guys in the podcast
I haven't.
Oh, you haven't? I thought you said you went to a local an offline.
I haven't done an offline one yet.
Oh. So you guys are all online warriors. I'm in here.
I'm an online warrior, and I'm proud.
Is like my whole channel is criticizing and shitting on online warriors and online tactics, and now I'm surrounded by them. I walk amongst them.
Well, you
like that.
often try to avoid a goal, but no matter what, the more you try to avoid it, the quicker it.
A little bit. The thing is, the reason why I'm hesitant to participate in EVO Online is twofold. First of all, like I can't take online serious and online competition serious, especially considering my setup. You know, I any bit of lag, the whole point of competition and the competitive arena is to remove variables, right? To settle the dispute about who's the livest, right? But unfortunately, with the state of the laws of physics and the internet, it's very difficult to remove all variables. So it becomes less of a question of was this person skilled, and more of a question of was this person skilled and got lucky with, ping or whatever. And the other part is something like that Creative mentioned a minute ago. Like, I'm not trying to get DDoSed while someone tries to win EVO Online, especially if I'm streaming it.
Yeah.
And EVO is
So you're just gonna have to deal with Sub-Zero and Aaron back to slide.
right, and it's one of those
And dealing with
things
that.
like the MK community is filled to the brim with tryhards. And when I say tryhards, I don't mean like people that are just too serious about the game, but I mean people that will step outside of their moral boundaries in the pursuit of clout. And you see that with a lot of other communities, not necessarily on my channel, but communities on, other people that host big money tournaments and all that. You see a lot of clout chasing. And that's not something that I would want to participate with. You know what I mean? Like, I love the spirit of competition. I love playing at your best and doing your best. But I'm not going to sit here and, like, compete at EVO and have someone clout chase on me, and then now I got to deal with people fucking highlighting and clipping it and posting it on Twitter like, oh, I blew him up at EVO and I'm the fucking greatest and fuck that guy. And it's like, dude, you were on Wi-Fi, kiss my ass, and people, well, adapt. And that's always the thing I always hear whenever I talk about, like, oh, dude, you're just an online warrior and you play with shitty online tactics. Well, why don't you adapt and get good? And it's like, there's no fucking getting good against your bitch ass. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out.
And it's like, I really do agree with Sonic Fox what he had said. Who said it earlier? Was it Kaballin?
That he
not playing against an online Sub-Zero. Like, the thing is, it's like, that's completely valid. Like, especially for people like him who are used to competing offline, it's like, why would I want to go to a setting where I would normally compete offline and compete against a bunch of people that don't, and then just abuse online tactics like you had said earlier, like back two slides, Sub-Zero's mix, just abusing typical stuff that they couldn't do so offline.
And not only that, but I mean, when you have like a name like Sonic Fox, right? Sonic Fox has a lot to lose as far as reputation goes competing in this arena. Whereas like some random online scrub lord Sub-Zero, Aaron Black, back to slide, like that guy has nothing to lose. If that guy gets beat by Sonic Fox, who fucking cares, right? But if somebody,
I got beat by Sonic.
yeah, but if somebody goes in and abuses online tactics and beats Sonic Fox, now they have ammunition to sit there and say, well, I beat Sonic Fox and I'm the fucking best in the world and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, dude, catch me outside with that. Catch me outside. You know what I mean? Like, dude, you're not beating Sonic Fox with an online Aaron Black. I don't care how fucking good you think you are. You're not. Get the fuck out of here. Deoxys is the best Aaron Black in the world right now, and he's not beating Sonic Fox offline. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Doesn't Sonic Fox play Aaron Black or Asian Team on?
He does, or
I'm not sure, honestly. I haven't really been keeping up too much.
I don't even use pronouns. I just call Sonic Fox Sonic, right? Sonic does play Aaron Black, and in my opinion, Sonic could wreck anybody with any character that they wanted to, offline. But when you go online and you have to deal with stuff that, like, someone like Sonic or Tweety or Ninja Killa can get the fuzzy guarding timing down for that shit. And they do it in tournament all the time. And to sit there and know they can do that and then to lose to that online, I can see why they don't want to enter that. I can see their reputation's on the line.
The things that make the things that make them top players, like split-second reaction times and like just everything's a matter of frames, and that element is taken out of their game. That thing that makes them the best players in the world. That doesn't. A lot of people could catch Sonic online with some shit. It was just some bullshit. But offline, he would be able to completely neutralize it with whatever he had.
Well, and exactly. It's not even just reaction times. It's lab time and building that muscle memory and having the rhythm to be able to pull that shit off. And when you go online, rhythm is out the window.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying. Because, believe me, was I pissed when I figured out how to OS Aaron's back two slide mix, and I went online, and what happened? Yes. 30 ping Aaron, and I got mixed.
Right? And you're like, dude, if we weren't on the internet, your ass is free. You've got nothing in the neutral. You can't open me up without this bullshit.
Yeah, it's just... I would say you hate to see it. I mean, you do, but it's one of those things where it's just, you gotta accept it. It's almost just like, well, I lost to that, so I guess I can't be too mad. But you're definitely mad.
And this is why I keep telling people within my community, don't sweat fucking online losses. I know some people were getting frustrated in lobbies and stuff and kind of getting angry with getting beat. And I'm like, dude, why are you sweating it? Like, who fucking cares? If they beat you offline, all right, yeah, be salty, hit the lab, get better. But like, dude, you got beat by I watched the fucking lag symbol pop up. Like, I watched it. I watched it happen. I know that this is not a legitimate victory, so why are you crying?
Yeah. Let's be honest. You know when you've been outplayed and when you've been beaten by someone that either A, like, just got lucky, or they, again, abuse something that only works online. Like,
or they pick Jackie.
The reality of it is, you know when you got outplayed.
Yeah.
It's just... don't waste your time being upset over an online loss because an Aaron Black back two slide will just back two slide mix you to death.
Exactly. Which actually,
I worry about input delay, rollback. I take all of it into account.
Yeah.
I personally don't mind the back two slide mix online. I know it's unreactable, but it's pretty predictable after a certain point of time. The thing that really annoys me is when you beat that, and after the game, when you win, they chat on the Xbox. You wouldn't win. You wouldn't have won if this was fine. That's just.
Yeah, I mean, shit talk online is what it is. Like, people talk about toxic community and all that, and I'm like, dude, like, did you not own an Xbox 360? Like, this is not anywhere near as bad as it was back then. But
it's not as bad.
The moment you mentioned the Xbox 360, I just had Vietnam flashbacks of the Halo.
Right.
I bet I get hate mail every other game. It's bad. I bet I probably get the most anybody in the community, man. This is terrible. People always cuss me out. It's bad.
Well, and I'm actually kind of interested to hear. Sorry, what was that?
I was gonna say that Jewlop does play Kano variation too, so yeah.
Right. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on that, Jewlop. You've been kind of quiet thus far. As someone who, when you first started playing with us, you were absolutely abusing online lag tactics for days. Abused that shit, and I was like, dude, you need to cut that out. Like, okay, yeah, you beat me. But if we were offline, that shit wouldn't be happening. And as you kind of acclimated to, the way we practice and train and prepare and started learning more about, what actually works and what doesn't, you've definitely changed up your play style and become more consistent. And, I'd like to hear your opinion on online play and online tournaments from someone who used to be one of those guys to someone that's slowly not being and starting to hate that shit as well.
Well, whenever you first get into the game like me and you have nobody, right? Like, you just kind of just pick up the game and you say, well, I guess I'll just play. And you look at things that work, and you're naturally going to stay to those habits of shit that work for you, you know? And if you hit like 9 out of every 10 instant air cannonball, you know, whenever you do it, you're gonna keep on doing it no matter what. And a lot of people come in and I think they don't mean to be fuck asses and abuse shit, but they do because that's what works, and they're gonna do what works, you know.
Yeah. Can't predict. Like, I know for me personally, I don't really blame people that are like that, because I'm definitely an advocate for, if you're not gonna stop me, I'm gonna keep doing it. Like,
Right.
Right.
Well, I just find it interesting that like you absolutely were on that side of the spectrum, and then you started playing with, you know, guys within this community, and when the connection is good and that shit stops working, it was like the light bulb went off of like, oh, maybe I need to play a little bit more conservatively and a little more smartly. And I've definitely noticed a change in the way you play, and it's been more consistent and it's been more safe and conservative because you're tired of getting punished. And, you know, I think that that's one of those things that EVO Online isn't going to fix. And a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, once these online scrub lords get, you know, in an actual competition and they're in a bracket with Tweety, like that shit's going to stop. And it's like, well, no, because they're going to beat Tweety with that shit. And they're going to think, oh, this is how you play. And then they're going to go to a major and they're going to get wrecked when offline majors come back. They're going to get wrecked and they're going to get mad. And they're not going to come back. And that's my concern with people that use a lot of online tactics and think that shit is viable, because, you know, people have fragile egos. And thankfully, you know, like as you started playing with us, Jewlop and Kaballin, like, you know, the community has been strong enough to kind of tell you, hey, man, like that shit doesn't work. You probably want to cut it out. So you won't have that culture shock of going offline and getting wrecked. You'll be more prepared. But a lot of people start online and then they go offline and they have their ego and they have their motivation built up from all these online wins. They go offline. They think, "Oh man, I'm good. I'm Elder God. You know, like I'm really good." And then they go 0-2 and they don't even take a single round offline against somebody who's like barely out of combatant, but they play a lot offline. And so they're like, "Oh, well, maybe I am shit," and then they quit. And that's always been my concern, and that's why I try so hard to get people to break those habits, because offline is where. That's where the staying power is. When you go offline and you go to an offline competition and you hang out with the community and you meet people in person and you have the time of your life and you share tech, that's what keeps people coming back. But when you have a bad experience and your ego gets shattered and now you think you just shit at the game, that's when you don't come back.
yep.
And
For me personally, who competed in 2 offline and 0 online tournaments, this was literally like one after another. One happened like 1 month from each other. The first one happened before, while I was in my, you know, Wi-Fi warrior, and I lost directly. I was last place, and then 1 month after SoCal Honey Badger, you know, this bitch ass, taught me everything I know today. I came back in top 8, and honestly I couldn't thank Badger enough for that, and I didn't mention that because I just was ashamed I got top 8.
that's fine. I would suggest toothpaste to brush your teeth instead of my dick. But yeah, you know.
Hey man, what do you want?
Right?
You're a good teacher.
No, and
that was good.
it's really, like I said, it's very, very encouraging to hear things like that, because like one of the problems specifically with the Netherrealm community is like turnout, right? And people, they don't go to tournaments, they don't go to competitions, they'd rather sit on Xbox Live, they'd rather sit, you know, on PlayStation Network and get their Elder God and get their lag wins and think that they're great. And they don't stick around. They don't come back. They play for a couple of months. They think they're the shit. Then they go back to Call of Duty. And so things like that, I mean, the game is a year old, and you guys like Jewlop and Kaballsack, like, I mean, generally gamers would have moved on to something else. So it's very encouraging that you guys, a year after the game has come out, are still here, still grinding it out. And it's hard to get that. It's hard to get people to stick around.
A lot of people kind of quit relatively early. It's usually a quick little, especially for this game. I feel like it's like they play like one season of Combat League, and then they just get completely fucked over by it, and they're like, "Man, fuck this game, I'm done." Can't even blame them either, man. Combat League sucks.
Combat League is completely fuck you.
Yeah.
Well,
If there's nothing I want, I'm not playing it.
Combat League is about to be EVO. It's going to
Yep,
be EVO
and that's
League,
the worst part.
right?
That sucks.
You know, and well, one of the kind of transitioning to the second half of the topic was something that Saki brought up, and something that me and her kind of disagreed on, but I respect her opinion, and I see why she believes the way she does, and I 100% support what she's saying, even though I disagree, and that is... So one of the things is a lot of people not wanting to enter EVO Online because it's online. But that's not the entire story. One of the reasons I don't want to enter EVO Online is because now that all of your games got exposed for having shit netcode, and you said you didn't need us.
Yep.
And now you need us. But we don't need you anymore. Because the community at MK built itself and grew itself without EVO. EVO turned its back on us and said, we don't want you. We would rather have Unial and Sam Show, who don't have...
It's like that Thanos quote.
Yeah.
Live with your failure, so where did that lead you?
Exactly. Though, and I'm not shitting on those games. I'm a lifelong Sam Show fan. Like, I'm a Charlotte main till I die, right? But those games do not have the community engagement and involvement that MK does. And EVO's big excuse for a game getting left out was, well, you guys like don't show up for tournaments. Look at Combo Breaker. Look at CEO. Like, you didn't have the turnouts. You didn't have the numbers. And it's like this time when they left MK out, all of us were crying bullshit. All of us were like, dude, bullshit. Bullshit, we didn't have the numbers. MK was growing every tournament, broke records for the last tournament. Like, MK was growing. Why did you leave us out? Because you can't use that excuse of, oh, we weren't supporting our game. People supported MK11 more than they supported any other NetherRealm game ever. So why were we left out? And now that you have to go online, and now that you don't have the online infrastructure with the games you chose, now you want to come crawling back to us because we have the best online and we have the strongest community in the fighting game scene as far as growth potential and consistency. I think only Street Fighter and Tekken are even matching MK as far as numbers in tournaments and online participation. And I find it very disrespectful and very offensive that they now that they fucking can't, now they want us. Like, they didn't want, it wasn't a community thing. It wasn't, oh yeah, the EVO was always about, we're going to celebrate the fighting game community. All fighting games come together and we have our Olympics. We have our Super Bowl. And it was all community run. And the MK community busted their asses off to grow and build themselves to where they are now. And EVO didn't matter to EVO. And so that told me, like, this is not a community run event anymore. I don't know the reason why we weren't invited. No one ever will, but you can't sit there and say we were discounted from EVO because we didn't have the community for it. Because we have a bigger community than half of the games that were chosen.
Yeah. I know.
I think they
agree. But go ahead, Kaballin.
I think they didn't pick us because they wanted two Marvel games. You know, DBZ is very much like Marvel. And they wanted Marvel 2 back because Marvel 2 is a legend in fighting games. And they didn't pick Mortal Kombat for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it was between NRS, since NRS wanted to do Final Kombat to remove Spawn. But I honestly don't know. But having two Marvel games and not one Mortal Kombat game, I think that's dumb. especially since Injustice 2, the shit that game got 2 years, but Mortal Kombat 11, which is far better anything NRS ever put out, didn't get 2 years. That honestly broke the line of me with EVO. That's dumb.
Yeah, no, I pretty much agree with that.
Yeah, to me it was just a slap in the face, and like I agree with what. Let me give you Saki's perspective because she's not able to say it herself, but she kind of comes from the perspective of now is our chance to prove that we support our game, we support our community. We have to go and we have to bring strong numbers to to really show them what they were missing, and I can feel that sentiment. I can understand that sentiment, and I'm not saying that she's wrong. I'm just saying, like, what if we do turn out, right? What if Mortal Kombat 11 is the biggest tournament for EVO Online and they still shaft us next year?
Wouldn't be surprised. Honestly, I really wouldn't.
That's my thought, is like, dude, they're coming to us because they need us, not because they want us. And I would rather go where I'm needed, or I would rather go where I'm wanted than needed. Like, Combo Breaker wants the Netherrealm community. CEO wants the Netherrealm community. EVO has made it clear they don't really want us. We're only involved because they have no other option. And it's like, why do I want to support that? Why do I want to pad those numbers?
Yeah.
And this is from someone who's been to EVO. And I loved EVO. And I dream of going back to EVO. And if EVO were offline, I absolutely would be going to EVO. But to sit there and pad the stats for a company that has made it clear that they don't care about me and my community, it's like, well, why should I care about you and yours?
Exactly. I only really decided to bring the MK community back just because it was online. I mean, man, like, there's no way that you can even get around that either. Like, they can't try to justify it because it's like, nah, man, like, y'all definitely didn't want us. Like,
yeah, it would be. It's different for something like Killer Instinct or Skullgirls, which were smaller games, and like, big ups to those communities having their chance to shine. Like, okay, yeah, they got left off because EVO got tired of running 200-man brackets for Killer Instinct, or they couldn't fill a 200-man bracket for Skullgirls. All right, I get those. But for them to leave Mortal Kombat 11 out when we were having record-breaking turnouts, like literally every tournament was having 1,000+ players for every offline major last year, and you're going to leave us off for whatever reason. I mean, maybe like the rumor is that it's not advertiser friendly. Okay, well then why was it there the year before? Was it not advertiser friendly in 2019? Because the game, it's the same fucking game.
it's like I always say, fuck them kids.
Right?
Wait,
like,
it's a rated M game. They know what they're doing when they decide to put it out there. It's not like it's anything new. If it wasn't advertiser friendly, how come it wasn't advertiser friendly all the previous years? What makes it so special now? I feel like it's just them trying to make an excuse as to why they didn't want the MK community being involved.
Yeah, I just don't find any of it inexcusable. Or I don't find any of it excusable. Like, it's like they slapped us in the face and turned their back on us, and now they want us.
Exactly how it went.
Jewlop, you've been quiet. What do you think?
I agree with you. I have nothing to add. That's basically how it is.
Right? The three of us are kind of dominating the discussion. I don't want you to feel like you can't get your 2 cents in.
No,
yeah,
man,
if one of us is talking, just be like, guys, I want to say something real quick.
Right.
We'll just shut up.
Right? Like, I feel what Saki is saying. I want to support the Mortal Kombat community, and I do want to show EVO what they were missing. I do want to let EVO know, like, hey, man, you can't just toss us aside like that. But on the other hand, like, again, it goes back to what my concern is what's going to happen next year. We show up and we save EVO, right? Because right now we are the main fucking event, right? We are the title match. Okay, Killer Instinct, Skullgirls, the fucking Brony game, like those are not the main events of EVO. Mortal Kombat is the main event of EVO. We're the biggest game and the biggest community, and right now we're going to show up and we're going to save their show. And what's going to happen next year if we do it? That's my concern, is if we save your ass because you have to have this tournament online, are you going to remember this in 2021? Are you going to remember who saved EVO for you this year?
What I think is gonna happen is that EVO is gonna see the numbers of Mortal Kombat 11 this year, and maybe at launch, maybe like Badger said, maybe people won't join just because EVO didn't want us but needed us, and they're gonna need us again. They won't want us. They're gonna need us for more numbers the next year. I don't think they're gonna forget that Mortal Kombat 11 saved EVO 2020. That's if they forget, that's just a bitch ass move.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely is, and I definitely do agree with that, Kaballin. Like, if they see that we save EVO this year, I highly doubt that they're gonna try to pull the same shit again. But if I'm being honest, people kind of got a way of disappointing you, so I wouldn't. I'll be optimistic, but I won't be surprised if it happens again.
The thing is, they have no loyalty to us, and they've proven that by not being loyal to us. So there's no precedent for us to kind of expect that they're going to, give us our opportunity again next year. There's no guarantee. And to me, it's like, I believe it when I see it kind of thing, right? I go by your actions and not by your words. And your actions have shown that you don't really care about us unless it suits you and you need us. And you're just going to toss us aside when it doesn't. And that's the precedent that you've set. So that's the perspective I'm going to take, right? We're going to save your ass this time, but you're just going to turn your back on us again next year. And I'm assuming that that's what's going to happen. And that's why I'm hesitant to join EVO this year. Because it's like, I don't want to save your ass. Like I invested a lot into this game and I was really looking forward. Dude, I was on fucking suicide watch at the beginning of the year when MK wasn't in EVO because my whole thing was I want to stream and build up a community and build up an audience and maybe get to EVO and go back and one more EVO before I'm too old to fucking play these games. And so I went all in on Mortal Kombat 11. That was my meal ticket. And so when EVO was like, yeah, we're not having Mortal Kombat 11, and I felt like broken. It was like, shit, dude, I put everything into this game. Everything. I invested all of my time and money and everything I've got into building this stream and this community, all in hopes of doing one more EVO, hopefully 2 more EVOs, 3 more EVOs, but let's see where it goes. I could have fucking played Soul Calibur. I could have played Tekken. I picked Mortal Kombat and I put everything into Mortal Kombat, and to me it was like EVO saying, yeah, well, that doesn't matter. Like we don't care. And that was heartbreaking for me.
Yeah, and it's just like a lot of the people that have been grinding just like for the thought of going to EVO offline, and then it's just like, boom. First you find out that you're not even going to be in EVO, and because of COVID, now it's just going to be online, and it almost feels defeating. Like, it really does, especially for the people that really wanted to. I mean, for me personally, I probably wasn't even going to end up going to EVO because traveling and all that, but I know there's a lot, and I mean a lot, of people that wanted to participate in the offline tournament scene. Now, I honestly feel like some people might just feel discouraged forever because of this, and it's just like they really fucked over the whole community in a way. Even though, like, definitely still gonna have people that want to participate, there's still gonna be another big group of people that really wanted to, and now they're not going to.
Yeah.
I mean, we can bitch all we want, but I would rather watch Mortal Kombat 11 online than the shitty netcode of Dragon Ball Fighters Online. Like, that shit, if he was a person, he would lag out. He would be born and he would have 100 age. He would be at 100 age as he's born.
Right. He would be Benjamin Button. Like I don't know. I have very mixed feelings about all of this. It's like on one hand, I want to support MK, and I don't want MK. Like, it would kind of suck as well if all of us boycotted EVO, and that like
Yeah.
EVO gave us our big shot, and we didn't show up because we're salty about them tossing us aside in the first place. And then that would make our community look even worse, and that would definitely guarantee we never come back. You know, like if
being
we
being salty will get us nowhere. Honestly,
Yeah.
you know that tip that Mortal Kombat gives you, Mortal Kombat 11, blocking will get you nowhere.
yeah.
We're right now we're talking so much shit to Evo that I honestly am starting to not expect Mortal Kombat 11 to join 2021 Evo, and that's just because of the fact that the community just wanted so hard to join it, and now that that Evo just slapped them away, literally just slapped them and turned their back once they saw that there was a need for us and nothing else would have fit. They came to us.
Yeah.
That's
It's gonna take Evo a bit to gain the community's respect back. Like, some people are gonna be over it right away, but there's gonna be a pretty marginal group of people that are just gonna be like, "Nah, fuck you, Evo. We ain't forget."
Right.
I mean, they don't have to love us. I mean, yeah, they don't have to love us, and we don't have to love them. But they're going to give the game a platform, and I say
Yep.
it's a big one. It's a big one too. I
Yeah.
say you use it, and I think they'll give us the platform next year too, just because it'll draw a big crowd. People are going to watch us. Or people are going to watch the MK community.
Yeah, like, we can complain about it all we want, but the reality of it is, at the end of the day, MK is gonna need the exposure, and Evo is the perfect way to do it.
I don't think so. MK has that big of community. I don't think it's gonna need Evo to be alive.
But
MK
yeah,
is
like,
gonna stay alive.
we're very lively without it. It's just
I
the
mean,
fact that Evo's such
we
a
did
form
it
and it brings
without Evo thus far.
communities.
We did it
But
without
we've had a lot
Evo
of
so
good
far.
tournaments.
You know, I kind of agree with what Stephanie Brownback was saying when the announcement first came out, and people were like, "What the fuck? We're not at Evo. What's going on, Stephanie? You work at NetherRealm, and you're a former tournament player. What happened?" And she tweeted out, there is Combo Breaker. And that was my thought was, you know what? If Evo doesn't want us, we need to come hard for those that do. Right?
Yeah, we just need to grind a lot harder for the tournaments that are accepting the community. Like, we still got Combo Breaker, NEC. NEC, like, I remember that was a good one too, and so was Combo Breaker. We've had plenty of other good tournaments besides Evo. So it's like, if we just keep building on that, we'll get to the point that we don't need it.
I think
Combo Breaker respects both us and we respect them. The fact that Mortal Kombat 11's tournament stage changed to Combo Breaker just shows me how much they respect each other, Combo Breaker and NRS. That is what I want NRS and Evo to have, but Evo is just being a prick about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Evo did have a pretty nice stage though.
Well, they always do. That stage is.
Yeah.
Lit. That stage is pretty lit. I just think I think the MK community should kind of mirror, and I know people are going to shit on me again for another hot take. Right, here comes the next hot take. Clip it and put it on Twitter, assholes.
Oh, all right,
I think the MK community needs to mirror and take notes from the Smash Brothers community. If Smash wasn't at EVO, they don't care. Right? Smash's big tournament is Apex. It has been for a long time. It will be for a long time. Whether or not EVO wants them doesn't matter. Their EVO is Apex. And I think that the MK community needs to just stop having EVO be the be-all, end-all of their tournament scene and find our Apex, which thus far has kind of been Combo Breaker. Combo Breaker wants the NetherRealm community. I mean, they're in Chicago, so, they absolutely have ties with NetherRealm. But I think instead of, if EVO will have us, then we show up. If they don't, it doesn't matter. Our big tournament is Combo Breaker. And that's the way I think the community should look at it going forward.
That was a pretty juicy hot take. I'm not gonna lie. I completely agree.
That's a hot take that I think everyone can agree with.
Yeah, like we really do need to have our own thing because, like how you had said with Smash, they have Apex. That's their EVO. That's what sets them apart tournament-wise from everyone else. That's what Mortal Kombat needs as well. We need to have combo breaker, especially like how
I
Kaballin just said. Like we have a good mutual thing with combo breaker, and we just gotta keep expanding on it.
Yeah, I mean, EVO has traditionally been a Street Fighter focused tournament, anyways. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
Smash has been the main event for the past couple of years, but like that's just because you can't deny the numbers of Smash. Um, but like EVO is a Street Fighter event, so
yeah,
them not giving any play to Mortal Kombat makes sense. Back in the day, Street Fighter did not give any play to Mortal Kombat. So I don't really take that personally. If if they going forward are a more Street Fighter focused event than Mortal Kombat, they never were a Mortal Kombat event. But I think that as a community, we should be supporting the Mortal Kombat event.
yeah. And
may
I
I
honestly
ask
feel
something?
like we should. Oh, going ahead.
Wasn't Final Combat supposed to be like our Apex?
No, because Final Combat's an invitational tournament, and that's kind of counter to what the FGC has been all about. Like Final Combat's cool, and yeah, it sort of was open entrant in the fact that you could have gone to CEO or NEC or whatever and got points to get in. But the whole spirit of fighting game tournaments is everybody can show up, and if you think you're good, it's time to prove it, because everybody's got that one friend, right? I don't care what game you play or where you're from, everybody's got that one friend of like, oh yeah, you're good, but my friend Fred over here, or my friend Jim, who you guys don't know, you guys don't even know this guy is so tight. If he would show up, you guys would all get wrecked. And that's why tournaments were always open invitational. It was like, okay, why don't you bring Jim? Why doesn't he come out? Some rando nobody off in some, in some trailer park somewhere, doesn't even have an internet connection, but he's got some weird setup that no one's ever seen. And, granted, that's actually never happened. Some rando nobody has never shown up and won, EVO or a big competition like that. But the idea that the opportunity is there has always been a big part of it. And that's why I think Final Combat could never take the place of something like EVO, because some rando dude can't just show up and be the world champ. Whereas with EVO, you could. And with Combo Breaker, you could. And I think that spirit, that's one of the reasons why fighting games have such a hard time in esports, is because, esports is corporate, and, like you have the Overwatch League and things like that, League of Legends League or whatever. Corporations like to control shit. And they've tried to get into the fighting game community and control it, and we just weren't having it. And when they can't control it, they don't want us. And that's one of the reasons why it's so hard for fighting games to make any kind of headway in esports. And I would not want that to change. Would I love to make $1 million playing Mortal Kombat like in an esports arena and like totally blow up and be on ESPN? Yeah, that would be great, but not at the expense of open invitationals. Wow, you guys got quiet.
Didn't Sonic
Yeah.
Fox? Didn't Sonic Fox win Evo just uh the Evo of Injustice when that first came out? That girl came out. Like he showed up out of nowhere, and all we know is his big brother played a lot of fighting games. Or did
Yeah,
he get like?
Sonic Fox
Or
didn't
did he get like?
show up out of nowhere. He was kind of known as the little brother within that community. So, like, people say that Sonic Fox like came from the shadows or something like that, but the reality is he was kind of known within his community when he started making waves. It's just that people didn't expect him to be that dominant, but he wasn't some faceless nobody in the crowd. Like he definitely was known. It's just he was known in New York or wherever it was. I think he was from New York, right?
Well, I mean,
I'm
whatever it
honestly not
is, I would
sure.
expect. Whatever it is, I would honestly expect the little brother of someone that's really good at fighting games. As Batter told me, I'm not sure if this is true, but he told me that he was a legend or something. I don't remember honestly, but I would expect someone to play with their brother and and to want to get better than their brother. So for Sonic Fox to just not exist in fighting games, that
Well, the thing about it is that the way fighting games are, um, like, hello, did you guys cut out?
No,
No,
okay.
we
Oh,
hear.
okay. All right. It got like super quiet. I thought Kaballin was saying something. But the thing is, because of the way fighting games are open invitational and anybody can show up and anybody can dominate, that environment is what breeds people like Sonic Fox. Because you think if fighting game tournaments were completely esports, like what corporation? Do you think Microsoft would be like, oh yeah, like you're really good, go ahead and bring your brother, right? Would Sony be like, oh yeah, just your little brother's invited? No, but the fact that tournaments are open invitational, some dude was just like, hey man, my little brother's kind of good. Like you guys all know him. Like we should let him play in the tournament. And then that led to Sonic Fox being Sonic Fox. And so if we went fully esports and fully corporate, that there would not be another Sonic Fox. Or at least if there were, it'd be very hard for them to come up the way Sonic Fox did.
Yeah.
So
if it was corporative, the EVO would just be the same every year. The only thing that changes is gonna be the games. Other than Tekken 7, Tekken 7 is always.
well, I don't know. I don't know that I would agree with that because people said Marvel will always be at Evo, and Marvel hasn't been at Evo. It's kind of at Evo this year, but Marvel is one of the cornerstone games that kind of built Evo. Marvel and Third Strike were really the two games that put Evo on the map, and neither of those games are at Evo anymore. Well, Marvel 2 is going to have an invitational special tournament, but that's not an actual Evo tournament. That's just I don't know. Maybe that's the boomer in me talking, right? Maybe I'm just fucking old, but I think that what the fighting game scene has, and I hate using the term fighting game community. I hate the FGC acronym, because it kind of like separates us from gaming, and it's kind of been used more as a badge to like be a pompous smug prick to like the rest of the world. But like what's kind of kept the fighting game scene going is all the things that we've mentioned, and I don't want that to go away. And if we were to go really hard into esports, I worry that that would disappear and that it wouldn't actually help the scene grow. Like it would help the scene get on ESPN. It would help, the scene in the sense that more people would probably watch it with like big sponsorships. Like if I, if I had some big corporate sponsor, promoting my channel, I'm sure my channel would grow leaps and bounds, but I wouldn't want to sacrifice what got me there in the first place. And I would maybe have to do that. And I feel like the fighting game scene would probably have to sacrifice the things that got them there in the first place. And that only benefits a small group. Go ahead.
Kaballin.
I don't think it's possible for a fighting game to be invitational. Yeah, it is possible for something like Overwatch to be, but Overwatch is never gonna be open invitational just because of how it plays. A fighting game is 1v1. You can't get carried by a teammate, you can't lose because of a teammate, because that teammate is you. If you make a mistake, there's no one to back you up. An invitational should have people that back someone up, but an open invitation, fucking hell. But a fighting game shouldn't have that. If you lose, you know it's your fault. But here in online tournaments, you don't know if it's your fault. Maybe it was a rollback. Maybe it was the open netcode. I don't know. It could
Well,
have been anything.
I kind of disagree with your point about certain games needing to be invitationals rather than open, because before the Overwatch League, Overwatch gained its investment from investors in the Overwatch League to see it get founded and created because open invitational tournaments were so strong with turnouts. So because that game was open, it proved itself and its popularity and all that, big money companies were willing to invest in the creation of the Overwatch League. So I don't think it's so much that the game couldn't, make it, if it wasn't invitational only, because it wasn't, and that's what made it. But it's just one of those things that once you go in that realm, once you go full corporate, man, like all the Overwatch invitational tournaments are dead now. There are no more. Overwatch League is here, and that's it. And if fighting games went that route, like, would there be a combo breaker? Would we have CEO? Would we have EVO? Could we have the Coliseum? Think about that.
I mean, there might be people that would push for open invitationals, but I don't think that would be successful in the FGC if that happened.
Well, it probably could be very successful because money backing it would, when there's money involved, people will gravitate towards that. But the problem is, and then we saw this a couple of years ago with Dragon Ball, right? Because a lot of tournaments couldn't get the rights to the Dragon Ball characters, you couldn't have Dragon Ball tournaments. And if there was like an Overwatch League for Mortal Kombat and they had exclusive rights to broadcast competitions, well, then that means all the tournaments that don't have those rights can't have Mortal Kombat tournaments. Or say you have contracted players. Say Sonic Fox is contracted to the Mortal Kombat League, right? That means, CEO, if they want to have a tournament, that's fine, but Sonic Fox won't be there. And then if Sonic Fox isn't there, if Ninja Killer's not there, a lot of other people are like, well, I don't want to go to a tournament to beat some random scrub lord that I play with every weekend. I want to fight the best. And the best aren't going to be there. So now they're not going to those tournaments. And now the whole tournament scene falls apart.
Right. Well, yeah, that's what I meant. If the good players cannot play in shorter, smaller tournaments, the smaller tournaments aren't going to grow. There's just going to be newer players that come in and fight people. Maybe someone above their league, maybe someone below their league, but it's mostly going to be the same shit over and over again with each fight, and no one wants to see fucking Scorpion versus Sub-Zero every fight.
Well, and also touching on that as well, the going full corporate and going full esports, this has been a point of contention within fighting games for decades. And I've been a part of this conversation for a long time, and I've definitely drawn the line in the sand and stood with one side over the other. Going full corporate does not benefit the community. It benefits like 5 people. And so, if we were to go in a full esports direction, yeah, Ninja Killer and Sonic Fox and, Dragon, they're going to make more money than they're making now. But they're going to be the only ones making money. And that has always been the concern within fighting games. Is like, it took all of us to build this to where it is now. And yeah, we want some of our more outstanding players to get better compensation, but not at the expense of them being the only ones. And that's kind of, I stand on that side of the argument of like, yeah, it'd be cool if more money was pumped into fighting games, but I work hard too, and I want some of that money, right? And right now, there's less money in fighting games, but it's money that everybody could get a piece of. If we add only invitationals, it's like, okay, like it doesn't matter how good you are or how hard you work. Those guys are sponsored contract players. You're not. You can't make any money or build a career. I mean, you look at Overwatch and you look at other, like, League of Legends. There are people that dream of playing against their heroes. There are people that dream of making money and entering competitions, but that ain't happening. Like, there's politics and shit involved. And you see it all the time. You see, like, with Overwatch, how, this player is, an attractive woman, she's not as good as like these 5 guys, but it gives us better optics to sign her to a contract. So we're going to sign her to a contract, even though, and I say attractive woman, but like during that controversy, nobody even knew that nobody knew what she looked like because it ended up being a guy. But things like that happen. You know, they signed a player less on ability and more on marketability. And there's, you know, there's the top 500 in Overwatch, right? There's 500 people that are good enough to play on the pro level, and none of them can get contracts because, you know, maybe they don't really fit the optics. They don't look good. They don't have a marketable look or a marketable personality. They don't have charisma. Like, I don't want to see that. You know, I don't want to see fighting games be that way of like, okay, we're going to have the Mortal Kombat Invitational and, you know, this like old fat guy who wears a Trump hat, he can't go because it's a bad look, even though he's really good. We're going to take this like good-looking 20-year-old kid who isn't really all that great, but he's really good looking and has a great personality. We're going to put that guy in the league. I don't want to see that. I'd rather beat the shit out of the Trump supporter. You know, I'd rather be like, bring your MAGA hat. I'm going to wreck you in this tournament. You know, I'm going to talk shit. Like, I'd rather fight the best in the world at an open invitational, whether or not they're attractive or marketable, than somebody that's not really all that good, but they're attractive and marketable, and so they get the big money contracts.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with you. The only part that I don't agree was at the beginning where you said Mortal Kombat going corporal wouldn't help anyone other than 5 people. It would help the game, but not the community. The game would have a better look, but the community wouldn't.
The community would remain the same.
Yeah, the community wouldn't grow. It would just stay the same.
Yeah,
Hell, it might even vanish.
Yeah, and that's kind of the concern we've all, or at least those of us who have been around for a while, have had. Is
the actual viewership, I think, would go up way high whenever they actually got they had a marketing plan and everything, and only the top players were playing televised games, because the game looks great, and whenever you see people like Sonic and Ninja playing, it's great to look at. So I think as far as the viewership would go, it would skyrocket. But you know, like you said, the local scene and the community would probably die out a lot.
Well, I think it would get very, very stagnant and then very, very manufactured. I mean, people will only want to watch Ninja Killa versus Sonic Fox so much before they're like, all right, we've seen this match. Like, they're just going back and forth. Give us some new blood. And then the manufactured aspect of would be the new blood coming in. You know, is this guy, you know, they're pushing this guy. Are they actually any good, or are they pushing them because they've got a good look and a good personality that they can market? And you see that a lot with other similar competitions. You see that a lot in boxing. You see that a lot in MMA. You know, we're going to grab, you know, a lot of people said Ronda Rousey was a fraud. I'm not saying she was, but a lot of people made that argument of Ronda Rousey isn't all that good. She's just good looking. So she looks good for the sport. So they're going to give her all the opportunities. And then some rando scrub lord from out of nowhere was actually good, beat her ass and took her belt, you know. And then now you don't hear about women's MMA anymore until the next Ronda Rousey comes along. And I'm not trying to say that Ronda wasn't good at MMA, but I'm saying that was a lot of the sentiment within the community, was like, she's a manufactured champion. And if we went esports, there's always the threat that would happen. Right now, Sonic Fox, you know, he does look good for the community. You know, he's very vocal and he builds controversy.
Yeah. And Sonic Fox has recently become the villain of the community.
Well, but the thing is, he's controversial in a way that isn't a problem. Like, he's controversial in that he's very vocal about his politics, but it's politics that are acceptable within the mainstream. Like, he's not...
Yeah, or like the whole 99% meme.
Yeah. Like,
let's be honest, a lot of people needed to hear it.
For the most part, yeah.
There's a lot of controversies every single day in the MK community. I swear there's a new controversy on Twitter.
I am never a part of any of them. I have no idea anything that's going on. I hear this stuff from you guys. I keep my head in the sand. I stay out of it. I've been around long enough to know that it's not good to get caught up in any of those controversies. At the end of the day, the only thing that matters to me is when was the last tournament and who won it. And that's all I care about. And that would be my suggestion to everybody else. I know that there's a market for drama and people like there's a reason why people still go to Tom Brady's channel just to shit on him, because people like the blowups. They like the drama. And I'm just like, I'm not getting involved in that. I'm keeping my hands clean of that. Sure, I'd probably be sitting at 500 viewers right now if I were to call Tom Brady names, or if I were to shit on Sonic Fox and say, you know, like phobic things about him, like, and create drama. Sure. But that, I've said before, it's not sustainable.
Yeah, like I like to fuck with people occasionally. I'm not even gonna lie. But for the most part, I like to sit back and watch.
Yeah.
We all like to fuck with people, but then the drama comes and then we just hide. And about what Jewlop said, I halfway agree with them. Yeah, it will help the viewership, but that's only for the first month. Like once, like the example that we gave of Overwatch League. Overwatch was alive, and then Overwatch League came in. The game grew, yes, but after 2 months of Overwatch League, it died down. Like I'm pretty sure if you said to someone, "Hey, you know what Overwatch is?" Oh, they say, wait, let me think about this. Overwatch? Ah, yeah, Overwatch. Not, oh yeah, I know Overwatch. Overwatch is that sick game that everyone plays, yada yada yada. Overwatch kind of died the hype of Overwatch. Overwatch League died the hype.
Well, it's exactly what's happening now with another game. What is it? What's that one that everyone? Valorant, right?
Yeah.
The hype was
I've heard
there.
of it, I've never seen anything with it because I've just never had much interest, so I have no say in this topic.
Right? I have no interest in playing a shooter because I can't. But, you know, the manufactured corporate hype of Valorant made it the biggest game on Twitch for like a week. And now the game's actually in people's hands and nobody really wants to play it. Like, that's the reality of it.
I actually got a key like really early while I was playing Overwatch, right? I watched someone play it, I said, oh, okay, this might be cool. This is something like Overwatch and Call of Duty mixed together. Now I don't like Call of Duty, but whatever, maybe I like this. 1 hour into the gameplay, I fucking hated that shit. It wasn't fun at all. The only thing that I could see people using it for is, again, viewership.
Yeah, again, it's that manufactured hype. And I think that the MK community has to be very, very careful. We have the support of Warner Brothers, which is one of the biggest corporations in the world. We have Warner Brothers supporting us, and I think that we've got to be careful not to forget our roots. And again, like a lot of the younger members of the community, you know, they get so drunk on the Kool-Aid of like, man, I want to be fucking esports, fucking, I want to be a millionaire, and I'm going to play video games for a living. And so they're more willing to kind of go with some of the nonsense because they're so hungry for that validation. Whereas older cats like me, I'm like, dude, I don't give a shit if I make $1 million. I've never had $1 million, so I don't know what it's like to have $1 million. So I don't care if I never get it. And so all of us are a little more stubborn in making sure that the scene doesn't go in that direction. And it's that constant push and pull. And I think it's very important for people like me that have that more older mindset to really kind of pass that on to the next generation of players. Like, hey, don't forget what we're all about, because one of these days I won't be here. And you guys got to carry the torch, and you got to make sure that this shit doesn't get screwed up. And I don't know. I'm doing my best for that, right? I have you three here who never played fighting games before this one. So I'm doing what I can. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I feel like I am a voice in the void at times. There's just not a lot of old timers in the MK community. You know, there's just not. It's a younger community.
I can say I started off at MK9, but when did I start truly getting my knowledge for the stuff? Yeah, it was like end of the life cycle of like it was literally like MKX right before Injustice 2 came out. So it's like my experience for this whole community hasn't spanned more than a couple years. I only really count it from Injustice 2, honestly, because MKX I was just like combos.
Well, that just make you flip a coin and you die?
And then that was when I kind of started hating MKX. I was like, wait, am I just guessing?
Right? Like, and I think it's important, for people, especially from my era of fighting games, to really pass that on. And I find that other communities are better at that. Other community like Street Fighter has Alex Valle and Daigo for people to look up to and kind of follow their lead. Tekken's got Eris and Rip and JDCR and Knee. Like MK, you look at like the old timers in MK and it's like, well, Stephanie works for NetherRealm now, so obviously her opinions are going to be biased for her employer. And then you have Rio, who's still respected, but like the other old timers like Tom Brady and Perfect Legend, like you can't even say their names without people shitting on them, right? So a lot of the old timers in the MK community, they don't really have the respect of the community. It's kind of telling when someone like Sonic Fox is considered the old timer. And it's like, dude, isn't he like 25 or some shit like that? Like he started playing with Injustice 1. Like the MK community doesn't have old timer veterans of fighting games. Like, they just don't.
That's kind of it's the old classic of you either die a hero or live long enough to be a villain. And in this case, you don't die, you just retire.
Right? Like, I mean, Rio's still respected, but he doesn't really compete, and he's not, like, he mostly kind of, plays up to the nostalgia of the old times. He's posting videos about MK9 and talking about the glory days, and that's cool. Like, there definitely needs to be somebody doing that. But as far as like veterans who have been there and done that and still putting in work and passing on our culture to the next generation, it's like ketchup and mustard. Foxy Grandpa. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's
Wait,
it.
can I ask something?
Go ahead.
What's the Tom Brady controversy?
There's a lot. I'm not even touching that with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Tom
Fair
Brady
enough.
controversy is that's a whole other thing that
We would have to
That's
do.
a new pod. That's another pod.
Yeah, that would be a
Yeah.
whole podcast alone on Tom Brady that I don't know would be within the scope of what we do here. But yeah, like the veterans, like I feel like the Mortal Kombat community is Dark Souls, right? Because in Dark Souls, all the heroes of legend are either dead or crazy, and everybody left is just out for themselves. And that's like the Mortal Kombat community. All the legends, all the heroes of past times are either out of the scene or they're crazy, and everyone still in the scene is just looking to get theirs.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's so important what you're doing, with this, you in particular. I'll just give my experience. You picked me up in Combat League one day, and I was bad. I was very bad. And now I play with guys like Dr. T-Bag and Hater and Haku, and I hang with those guys. I play them all the time, and it's just really helped me, and it's helped me have a more grounded understanding of what I'm doing, because I didn't have anybody tell me.
yeah, and that's how it should be. The community should be able to help lift each other up rather than bring each other down. Which I know it's funny me saying that right now with a lot of shit going on with the community, but at the end of the day, that's what it should boil down to: is the community lifting itself up.
The community should be like the other fighting game communities. It shouldn't be,
Much.
yo,
Yeah,
fuck you,
a lot.
yo, fuck you. Why did you beat me? And it should be, hey, nice tech. Can you teach me that tech so I can get better?
Yeah.
And they should high five as.
Actual high five.
Well, and that was something that I was kind of discussing yesterday, because a lot of people were getting pretty salty and angry about losing in like King of the Hills and stuff. And I was like, why do you care? Like, Lanky came in here and kicked everybody's ass And like he kicked my ass, and rather than getting salty, I'm like, hold on, do that again, but I want to try this. Right? Because we're not in a tournament. I don't give a shit if he beats me. There's no money or prestige on the line. But that was something I'd never seen before, and I want to know how to beat that. And if I can figure out a counter, I can counter what you're doing, and then you can figure out a counter to that, and then we can play some fucking video games, right? And I don't see that within the community. It's like, oh yeah, you know, I beat Koizi on Xbox Live, and he's free, and fuck Koizi, and blah blah blah. And it's like, well, what the fuck? Like, you should be like sharing tech and you know, trying to build up the community more so. But the MK community is very, everybody's just trying to get theirs. You guys see clout chasers in my channel all the time. Everybody's just trying to get theirs.
That too. That's what leads up to a lot of people trying to clout chase. I definitely feel like Koizi is a good example because Badger, I know you don't really use Twitter that much, but recently somebody uploaded a video of them beating Koizi in a game. But the thing is, played an entire set. They lost the set, but they uploaded the one game that they won so they could get attention from it.
Wait, is this a Jax player by any chance?
I don't know. I'm not on Twitter. I am on Twitter, but I only use Twitter to communicate with my own community. And maybe I'll scroll through the timeline every now and then, like once a week, to see what the conversation is. But again, you get that, dude. You get that a lot. And it's like, rather than sit there and think, oh yeah, like I'm able to do sets with Koizi, I should take this opportunity to really advance my gameplay. Like I can do sets with Koizi. I have contact with this person. I can learn so much. It's more of like, oh, let me get this one win, and then I can build up my name. And it's like, yeah, but what are you gonna do when you do get sponsored and you go to a tournament and you go 0-2 at every fucking tournament? You know, and then your sponsor drops you because you never actually got good. You just had a viral video take off of you beating Koizi one match in a fucking 1st to 10. Yeah.
Because it's like what you had said right before that. It's like, run to somebody that's good, you have a chance and an opportunity to get better and train with said person. But nowadays, you mostly just see like, haha, I took my one win, I'm gonna upload you. And then it's those same people that won't hit them back for a set again because they know that they won't win, and then they know that they'll just get blown up for clout chasing.
Exactly.
It's just like, it doesn't get you anywhere when you're not trying to play with other high-level players rather than just trying to clout chase off of them. It doesn't get you anywhere as a player.
Well, it's not even just the clout chasing, man. It's the perpetrators. I'm getting tired of the perps, man. I'm getting tired of perpetrating motherfuckers. Every time I say anything, like, it just, people, dude, like, when I sat there and said, like, online tournaments don't matter and online rank don't matter, and then instantly I get bombarded with fucking ass clowns like, oh, so you think you could beat Koizi? Why don't you first attend Koizi right now? And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. You fucking, all you're doing is trying to perpetrate. And I ain't having that. You can go and tell Koizi whatever the fuck you want. I ain't responding into shit, right? Perpetrating motherfucker. If Koizi wants to play games, I will play games with Koizi. I will never walk away from playing, right? But I'm not going to get caught up in some kind of drama and beef because you're perpetrating ass trying to start some shit where ain't even some shit. I've never even met I've never even met Koizi. I've never interacted with. I don't fucking know this person, right? But I guess they're big in online tournaments and they're big in online rank. Okay. And I still don't give a shit about those things. And I don't, like, people want that validation so bad, right? Like, oh, I'm an online warrior and you say that online doesn't matter, so you're saying I don't matter. And I am the fuck saying you don't matter. Why do you give a shit what I say? That's the point I'm trying to make. Why do you care that I say you don't matter? Because you say I don't matter and I don't care. I just do what I do. People are like, oh, you're nobody. You're just some fucking rando streamer who fucking tells fart jokes and titty jokes to 100 people every day. You're nobody and you don't matter. Okay, that's fine. I don't give a shit. I'm still going to tell my titty jokes to my 100 viewers. Like, I don't care what you think.
Yeah, at least Badger is entertaining. He's just a jackass.
But it's like people try to perpetrate and they try to, like, start shit where ain't shit at, and I disengage. I'm not part of that. I don't want to hear it. You want to start shit between me and Koizi, you can start shit between me and Koizi. I'm not participating in it. If Koizi wants games, I will be glad to and honored and love to do games with Koizi. I would love to do games with Sonic Fox, but I'm not going to do it with the express purpose of trying to build my name off of it. If I tell you what, because I do play with very well-known pro players, and sometimes I don't stream them, and I don't sit there. You're never going to see those clips. I don't record them. I don't post them. If I did a set with Koizi, you would never fucking know unless Koizi showed up to my stream and played me on my stream. But if I played Koizi like off stream, like on a non-stream day, and it was just to get in some sets, like I'm not recording that shit and throwing it up there, because that's not the intent. The intent is to play this person who is allegedly better than me and maybe get better myself, or maybe prove that I'm better. But at the end of the day, I'm not interested in trying to build a name off, oh yeah, I beat Koizi one time. Like, that's scrubboard shit.
Yeah, and it's that attitude that's the most important. It's not, oh, how much attention can I get from beating said person? It's what you learned from losing against said person. Maybe taking that one game and thinking, what did I do right? It's the learning process that's going to matter and what's going to take you further. Cloud chasing only takes you so far.
Yeah.
Like, Sonic was right when he said, yo, 90% of you don't fucking know how to play. He was right. Most people don't lab when they lose. Like Batter said against Lanky, he wanted to fight him again to try under strategy to beat him. Most people just do the same thing over and over again, and over again, and fail. Like, you're not gonna learn from that. You're not gonna become a better player. The only thing you're gonna do is start getting more repetitive, and for that, he's gonna beat your ass even harder.
Yep.
Yeah, I think,
and that's what a lot of people miss. When you lose, some people will sit there and be salty and just say, "Oh, fuck this character, they carry." That's what separates better players from the players that just sit and complain. Players that sit and complain, they're not the ones that are going to be out there labbing right after they take a loss. They're just going to complain about the loss and the character. That's how you're supposed to progress, is when you lose to something, you lab it and you figure out what your best strategies are to get around it, and then you apply said strategies.
Well, and people don't take advantage of the fact that they have a community available. It's like, oh, I'm going to, like, if I were ever to get matches in with someone like Koizi, I wouldn't be trying to, like, do a 1st to 10. I would be like, okay, let's do a match. Okay, you're better than me in this aspect. Okay, like, I'm done with matches. Let's experiment. People don't do that. They don't do that in sets anymore. It's just like 1st to 5. Okay, I got 5. Fuck you. I'm out of here. And it's like, why would you even, what's the point of that? Okay, I beat somebody online. Like, who fucking cares? Like, I didn't get a paycheck from it, so I don't give a shit. Whereas, like, if I were to play Sonic Fox, I'd play a match, and I'd be like, oh, shit, what was that? Hold on. Let's just go into practice mode. I want to see what that was. Okay. All right, let's go back into another match. Let me try and see if what I came up with beat that. Like, practice mode is fine by yourself, but 2-person practice mode is infinitely better. Because now you can collaborate.
The options are literally infinite.
Yeah,
I've been trying to teach someone. You guys probably don't know him, Archie Baxter. He isn't all that good at the game. Like, he complains even about the Shiva shit, the Shiva unblockable stomp, and
so annoying.
On his stream, yeah, and on his stream, I said, "Yo, that's dumb. Want to go into practice? I'll show you how to beat it." So that you don't have to do it on your own, and it doesn't really, and it's gonna be a lot more fun since it isn't just you doing the same shit over and over again and trying to get better at that. Maybe I'm gonna mix up stomp forward or stomp backwards. You never know. If you do that against the AI in practice mode, you can't do that really.
Yeah. Looking at the time, though, we've gone over time again. We've
gone a whole hour and a half.
Well, no, we got half an hour over time. I think just an hour and a half is just going to be our regular time for the podcast.
No, it just shows that we support this podcast a lot more than 1 hour. Like, right? That shouldn't be just 1 hour. It should be a lot longer. People like the podcast, I assume.
Hopefully. I mean, it's still in the infant stages. Any kind of closing thoughts from anybody before we move on.
Jackie.
Nerf Jackie.
I might bitch about Jackie and people being carried about her, but Jackie is but Jackie really is fun to play. Play Jackie and fuck everyone else.
What about you, Jewlop?
Got the same general message.
Listen, man, I'm just gonna play Kano. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Fair enough.
Right?
All right, well, feel free to get hit by 1 million staggers.
You
Right?
can't press on me.
Don't press buttons. Don't push buttons. The social media shout-outs. Anybody got any YouTubes or Twitters that they need to get followers on? Any of you guys need a clout chase? I know me and Creative are
I'm a
both on
profession-
Twitter.
I'm a professional shitposter, so please follow Kaballin 1 if you want to not be entertained.
There you go.
Well,
And, of course, me and Creative, we both have our respective Twitch streams and YouTube channels. You can also find us on Twitter. We're not that difficult to find. But, yeah, I want to thank Jewlop and Kaballsack for jumping into the podcast with us today on short notice. It sucks that we couldn't
thank
get
you guys.
Saki. Me and Creative probably could have carried it on our own, but we did the two-person thing last week, and I didn't want to do that again.
it was nice having some out
Yeah.
here too.
And, maybe, hopefully, we can get you guys to come back again soon. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the podcast. We're going to move on with the rest of my stream. Saki obviously isn't streaming. I don't know if Creative is streaming right now, but you can also go and check him out. He am not. But that's...
Wait, question,
What's that?
does Creative actually stream?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I'm just not consistent.
He's an affiliate. He made affiliate. He's got his own fans. 3 of them. They got to have 3 fans in order
Yeah,
to
I
make
think-
affiliate.
Good ones is all you need.
Right. So that's going to be it for the podcast. I'm going to try and get this thing out on my YouTube. I guess I'll try and get the older podcasts up as well, because I don't know if Saki was recording this, and usually the podcasts are posted to her YouTube channel. But I'm not going to, if she's sick, I'm not trying to add any extra work to her workload. So I will get this onto my YouTube as soon as possible. But I want to thank everybody for coming out to the podcast. And that would be it.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you for having me.
No problem.
Talk
Thanks for
team.
coming out. Right. I'll see you guys on the stream. All right.
Later, guys.
Alright.